Hello and welcome to Talk of Good Games. Just finished West Ham United 2, Liverpool 2. A scrappy affair, one lacking tempo, real standout players from the 90 minutes, but an unhelpful point for both teams. That is surely the title race over for Liverpool, and any smither of a European dream for next season for West Ham has evaporated with that game as well. A point is probably, a draw is a fair result, I think. It's a balanced game. I think it was a fair outcome. However, it's just unhelpful. It's no use to either team. Liverpool had to win. West Ham had to win, but 2-2 apiece it was. I'm here to discuss the highlights from the game. If you're new to Hammer Chat, please do subscribe and also drop a like on the video as well by clicking thumbs up. Helps out the video a lot, helps out the channel a lot. It makes me a little bit happier. Not as much as it helps the channel, but will make me have a little bit of a smile if I see some likes on the videos. Thank you very much. Well, it was a bit of a slow start from both teams. The tempo was pretty low. There wasn't much happening. And truth be told, it was a bit of a boring affair, actually. There wasn't much in the way of opportunities. I think Liverpool perhaps had more bits and pieces around the 18-yarder. They certainly had the lion's share of possession, but I think West Ham might have looked slightly more dangerous on the break, but without really testing Alisson. Soufal coming the closest with a shot from distance, but it was comfortably saved by Alisson. Neither keeper put under too much pressure, and it was just waiting for somebody to sort of take control, show their quality. And I think Jarrod Bowen did his best. I think Bowen made a really good run in the first half, and then he had another effort from the edge of the area as well. Both shots comfortably saved by Alisson, but the third one would be the better one because it came off Van Dijk's leg, went round the post, and from that corner, Emerson took it short, gave it to Kudus. A half-decent ball in. It was an okay cross from Kudus. It wasn't out, but it was better than Emerson's corners. He had two previous that were sort of hitting the first man. It wasn't really good enough. So decent enough ball in from Kudus, but a really good header from Jarrod Bowen, I felt. And West Ham were 1-0 up and just before half-time, and it was a fantastic position to be in going into the half. I think in the first half, we played all right. We were okay. We weren't fantastic. And like I said, I think Soufal had his hands full with Diaz, but gave a good account. And I think Jarrod Bowen looked really good. And I think the players, the rest of them, nobody was terrible. But they were almost not given the opportunity to be terrible, if that makes sense. When we played Crystal Palace last week, a few of our players got exposed because Elise and Eze and Mateta were in such great form. It was easy to make the defenders look rubbish. But today, Gakpo didn't really test Zuma or Ogbonna, so they did okay throughout the match, but largely untested. And I thought Bowen and Diaz were the only two players in the first 45 minutes that turned up. But in the second half, Bowen faded a little bit and got taken out of the game a bit, whereas Diaz continued that for Liverpool. And I thought he was possibly the best player on the pitch and caused Soufal all sorts of problems throughout. Anyway, Liverpool made it 1-1 not long after the break. Andy Robertson, it's a bit of a weird goal. It's sort of just like almost like a pass towards the goal. It was a bit of a scoop type shot. It was one without any conviction. He didn't really have power or accuracy on it. But because Areola's unsighted, the ball sort of goes between Ogbonna and Zuma. Areola can't see it till late. So by the time he does get a hand to it, it's a very weak hand of his. He should be doing better, Areola, I think. But like I said, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he didn't see it till late. And it was just a weird goal where you look at it. It's similar to when Hoffmann scored against us in Germany when we played Leverkusen to make it 1-0. It was one of those shots that it just went through. It went past everybody. It was almost just it was a goal of luck, and there was an element of luck with Andy Robertson's goal as well, where a little bit either side it hits a defender or the keeper might get it, but it sort of it felt a little bit poor from Areola. But just a crap goal to concede, really. Just not. There was nothing from us. We just stood there like statues watching Andy Robertson scoop it towards the goal. It felt not long after. It was 2-1, and this is just, is it unlucky? Is it just poor? I don't know how you describe this from West Ham's perspective. The corner comes into the back post. Cody Gakpo volleys it, and it's such a bad volley. It's a horrific effort. It hits Ogbonna on the 6-yard box. Then it hits Soucek. Then it hits Areola and ends up in the back of the net. So there's real sort of ping pong in there. But it's just a real scruffy, ugly goal, which I think sums up the game, to be honest with you. I think it was just that scrappy game where it was just lacking any quality, any enthusiasm for both sets of players. In the lead up to this game, Jurgen Klopp has said the title race is still on. David Moyes has said we could still get European football next season. So they talk the talk, but I don't think either set of players today walked the walk. There was nothing from me that I felt that our players believed we could get European football, or from Liverpool that believed they were still in with the title race. It felt like an end of season dead rubber game to me, where neither side had anything to really play for. But 2-1 Liverpool, there was a little bit of a muster of a reaction from us at times. I think our energy sort of levels, if you like, went in peaks and troughs throughout the game. Not many peaks, admittedly. At one point, over a 5-minute spell, I think we had 6% possession, which almost was impossible in football to have that little possession. But there you go. You learn something new every day. But we made it 2-2. Michail Antonio, a little bit similar to how we scored last week. It was a fantastic, or the week before, sorry, fantastic ball in from Jarrod Bowen. And fantastic header from Michail Antonio. We were put in a couple of decent crosses by this point, which hadn't led to anything. But the delivery from Bowen, I think, is outstanding. It's 10 out of 10. It's right where Antonio wants it. And the header from Antonio is absolutely brilliant as well. And I think Liverpool defence will be scratching their head as to how neither of them are marking West Ham's lone striker and sort of only player in the box, really. But it was a superb crossing finish. But that's what it was going to take from us. It was going to take a goal of individual quality in that second half, I think. And there was two elements of that involved in this one, where one player does something really good and the other player does a really good finish. Because chances for either team were few and far between. Luis Diaz hit the post in the first half as well, and Harvey Elliott with a really good effort that hit the bar, and a couple of scrambles around the West Ham area. Emerson heading off the line twice, although the second one, I think I really would have comfortably actually did it more harm than good. Emerson heading it, but it finished 2-2. I think Liverpool might feel like they'd maybe done enough to edge that, but I think a draw was a fair result. They looked the more dangerous of the two. I was disappointed by our lack of determination to try and win that game, because I felt Liverpool were there to be got at. Going in 1-0 up at half time, did we deserve the lead? I don't think so. Like I said, I think we were doing okay. But we were 1-0 up, and I would have liked to have seen us come out and be a bit more brave and try and go get that second goal and really just knock any sort of wind out of Liverpool. But they got that first one. There was a little bit of an uplift from Liverpool. At the end, Vladimir Coufal with an outrageously good interception to stop Darwin Núñez possibly just knocking into an empty net. But it's just, I don't know, there's a few good performances from West Ham, but I'll be honest with you, I'd be lying if I said I was really pleased with what I seen or was really pleased with the point. Now, I would have a different tone of voice if we had beat Palace last week or we beat Fulham the week before that. I would feel much different today, because a point would have been adequate. A point would have been a good result for us today. But I felt coming into today's game, it was sort of all or nothing, really. We had to win, and we'd have to beat Luton, and we'd have to beat Chelsea in between to stand a chance of European football. So a point, like I said, fair result, but it's not really helpful for either side. And I think this is what we're going to see between now and the end of the season from West Ham, which is almost, it feels a little bit like we're just going to just do what we need to do to get through the games and get to the end of the season. Flip-flop on the beach time, maybe. But I think there were some moments in the game I was impressed with. But like I said, I don't think Liverpool, that was not prime or peak Liverpool we've seen out there today. That was a Liverpool that had given up the title race, I think, on Wednesday when they got beat at Goodison Park. I think they gave up during that game, and I felt like that today, really watching them. The opportunity to go win the game was there, I think, and I think there were some good performances from West Ham. Jarrod Bowen in particular, I think Coufal did as well as he could up against a really tricky customer. I think Alvarez got around the pitch quite well. But I've lost my train of thought. Oh, I will say, the one thing that was concerning me, believe it or not, was, I might get a bit of stick for this, was Kudus's lack of desire to get back and help. At times, I thought we were getting run down that right-hand side in Alexander-Arnold, and I was glad Klopp took him off and put Gomez on. I thought that was a mistake, because I thought Alexander-Arnold was starting to get a bit of joy in the second half against us, a long-distance shot, but he's picking up space down that side and causing Emerson a bit of bob there, because Kudus was just lacking energy today, really. He tried hard, don't get me wrong, going on the ball, he's trying hard, and there's not much you can do in this side when we're going forward, there's not really much options. It's a very difficult environment for Kudus to shine in. But getting back, it felt like there could have been a bit more effort on his part. But nobody had a bad game for West Ham. But like I said, I think it's more down to the fact that Liverpool just weren't causing us to have. There was no questions asked. We sailed through that game, and I think you could say the same for Liverpool. I was disappointed. I thought this game on paper, both sides should have something to play for, and the managers gave it all this, but I didn't really feel like that watching it. Points shared, fair result. Bowen's my hammer of the match, if you like, Jarrod Bowen. Bit quiet in the second half, but I thought he was fantastic in the first half. Disappointed by our set pieces today. I thought we got an adequate amount of free kicks or corners, not long throws. I hate long throws. Please stop doing long throws. They've never worked at West Ham, and I don't think they ever will. Whether it's Antonio or Soufal taking them, the long throws they're not even good. They loft them. It's so easy to defend against. Stop it. But set pieces, I thought we got a decent amount of them. We didn't test them at one point, and this is where I got really disappointed. It must have been late 80th minute, we got a free kick on our left-hand side. I'm trying to think who fouled whom in order to get it. It wasn't McAllister and Bowen. It was before that one. We got a free kick on our left side, and then Ward-Prowse and Emerson were stood over it. Zuma didn't even come up for it. It's the 90th minute. Try and win the game. Get this ball into the area and try and win it. Now, the last one, Zuma came up for it, but that's because we were now into sort of added on time for stoppage time. We were past the 95 minutes, but it was about the 88th, 89th minute or something. Zuma stayed back. He was like, come on, just try and win the game. A point. It was worth gambling. A point is no good. Risk the point and try and get all three. Because of coming the end of the season, it's not this game that's caused us it, but I was sitting there thinking, it's all or nothing today. We need 3 points. A point is just not good enough. Get up there and try and win the game. And I felt like we could maybe have done it, especially considering at that point, Van Dijk was the only centre-back on the pitch for Jurgen Klopp. He took off Quansah and then put on Szoboszlai, or maybe hadn't done so, but I think he had done the sub at that point. It's just frustrating to see our lack of desire and lack of ambition to try and get that 3 points. And it was just... Anyway, sorry, it's not too more upbeat, but the truth is I'm a bit... We did okay, but I think the opportunity to do better was there. And had we done better, I think we could have won that game. The lack of ambition, desire, and determination to get 3 points, I felt was disappointing, actually. I feel a little bit disappointing. I think, Paqueta, I don't think had a great... I think he was okay in the first half. Second half, he just disappeared completely. Take him off and put Cornet on or something. Get some energy in the team and just try and go and win this game. Ward-Prowse coming on for Souček was a decent enough sub. I thought he did okay when he was on Ward-Prowse. But again, Souček wasn't particularly offering much. It was an easy sub to make. Be ambitious. It's 4 games to go. A point is useless. Be ambitious and try and get the win. We might not have done. We might end up losing it. But so what? The end result, which is no European football, would still be the same. Anyway, just a bit, just frustrated with that game. I'm going to shut up and disappear. However, I'll be live at 9 a.m. tomorrow here on this channel. So you're kicking about tomorrow at 9 a.m. Do come back. We'll be discussing the game in a calmer fashion, a bit more in depth, and also interacting with the live chat and getting your thoughts on it. And we might also have a little bit of a manager discussion as well, because the game's not got that much, despite being 4 goals, there's not that much talking points. So we might have a 10-15 minute discussion on the manager and see who everybody wants to replace Moyes, should he go at the end of the season. However, if you've enjoyed this review, please do drop a like on it by clicking thumbs up. Like I said, really helps out the channel. Subscribe when you're new to Hammers Chat, and hopefully I'll catch up with some of you at 9 a.m. tomorrow live on YouTube. I'll see you then.